You're listening to The Osiris Munir Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hey, my kindreds. There is so much happening out here. Before I get into all the things that I want to talk about, our guest today, let me make an announcement to our wonderful sponsor, Kevin Pike with Coldwell Banker. Kevin is a senior real estate and probate specialist, 818-571-1508. Sure to please you and get every single thing you need taken care of. He's a great guy to talk to, knows a lot about real estate, a professional. So feel free to reach out to him, 818-571-1508. That's our Kevin Pike with Coldwell Banker. So I want to get into a really short talk today. Oh, and by the way, I want to shout out to Wingstop, store number 458. They were so nice to me. I go in a lot of restaurants to do a little preview because they don't know I'm a talk radio show host. I go in to see how they treat people and, treat different people that come in, and they did a really good job. I think the woman's name was Francine, but a lot of people, they're just really nice people there, very warm and welcome. So I want to shout out to them, and also shout out to my favorite channel, the Africa Channel.com. Support them. They are fresh out of Africa with African content, wanting to bust into the US even more, and I'm all about supporting them. So please check them out. Today, drum roll, boom. I have the wonderful pleasure of having multi-talented, Emmy Award winner and Grammy-nominated comedic actor performing Geoffrey Mark. Before we bring Geoffrey on, I want to tell all of you women out there, I don't think men get attacked as much, but I was walking my dog yesterday, late last night, about 5:45, so it was, not real dark or dark enough. And someone attempted to attack me. My dog is not a attack dog, so he's not going to do that, but he did bark and things like that. But the guy blocked the sidewalk that we were trying to walk on, and the building next to the sidewalk is an old Masonic temple that they just put up a big brand new fencing to keep people out of the yard, etc. And he wouldn't let me and my dog pass by. The street was full of traffic. We didn't have anywhere to run. I moved back when his fist came up towards my face. He called me the B word, and I started screaming as loud as I could. The best thing to do is to scream fire. If you're ever in a situation where you don't have any protection, scream fire as loud as you can. So I started screaming and running him down the boulevard with my dog. We did call the police. They were very kind to come over. So thank you, Van Nuys Police Department, for protecting us. I do look young, but I am, I'm over 60. So anyway, it was just a little scary. So I want to tell you guys all to be safe out there. Now, back to our guest, Geoffrey Mark. Hey, Geoffrey.
Hey, your sponsor is a very handsome realtor. I wouldn't mind checking out his comps.
And you know what? And he might be single and ready to mingle. I don't know, but he is a cutie pie and a lovely person. I hook him up with anyone. I wouldn't be ashamed of him. He's a wonderful person. And I've known Kevin for years. So he's creative and he's a great human being.
There you go.
Great human being. That's what we look for now. Great human beings.
Excellent. Now let's talk about me.
Yeah. Welcome to our show, Geoffrey. Welcome back. Listen, I want to get right into it.
Sure.
I know we lost June Lockhart.
Yes.
We lost Diane Keaton.
We Sally Kirkland, my friend.
Sally Kirkland, a whole row of them. And I know you're coming from that pool of wonderful, talented people. What does it feel like? Or do you feel alone? Or what does it feel like losing them and having to go on and keep moving forward?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. This is not my first rodeo with this kind of stuff. If one is lucky enough, I can't talk about all walks of life because I've only ever been in show business.
Yes.
in show business, if one is lucky enough to have mentors, to get to know the people who came before you, they're going to be 5, 10, 20, 40 years older than you. And the list of people I have lost, I don't mean just people I've met. I mean, important to me. Lucille Ball, Milton Berle, Steve Allen, those kinds of people. You either bang your head against the wall and bleed because they're gone, or you get sad because they're not here anymore, but you plug into the gratitude. Look what I got. Look at the enormously wonderful, talented, intellectually stimulating, creative, loving people who took an interest in me as a person, in my career. If I were to, oh, they're gone, poor me. I first of all, I think they'd come back from the other side and slap my face. And secondly, I don't think these kinds of folks, if you're lucky to have them, I got wonderful, wonderful advice when my partner died from Lucy Arnaz.
Mm-hmm.
She said, your life is your book. You can write it any way you like. You can spend the rest of your life mourning, or you can spend the rest of your life celebrating. So I celebrate Sally Kirkland, and I celebrate June Lockhart, and I celebrate the people I've known. I'm enormously grateful. I'm a little Jewish boy from Brooklyn who did not come from theatrical background at all. And somehow I got from there to here, and I'm really, really grateful. And I'm not exaggerating, 60, 70, 80 people helped along the way. And as they leave, as they go on to the next place for their energy, I'm sad, I cry, but I'm grateful. That's how I handle it.
And I'm grateful to know you, I'm grateful to be meeting these people that I'm meeting, because it took me a very long time to climb my way to here. And so what I want to talk to you about is a little bit off subject, but on subject. They recently tried to stamp out the same-sex marriage bill. And it's either they didn't pass the law to stamp it out. What were your feelings about that? Did you get any more information than I have about it, or they weren't able to stop it, right?
No. People tried to reopen with a baloney case. The idea that the Supreme Court should strike down the right for same-sex marriage. Mm-hmm. It didn't work. The Supreme Court wouldn't even hear the lawsuit. So for the moment, equality in marriage is still the law. It is still protected for now. It is older than time. How do you pull people together? You find a common enemy and get them all worked up and angry over it. It has been African Americans, it has been Jews, it has been gays, it has been this, it has been that. At the moment, it's Latinos and transgender people. But it's going to grow, because the more they can get people angry, the more they whoever they are, I'm not mentioning any names, any parties, but whoever they are, feed on anger. I'm grateful, although I am not married, that those who would like to be married can get married or can stay married. There is also a posit out there that possibly all of this was just a way to get money. That let's whip up the people and have them contribute to something that we know isn't going to go through, but we get to keep the money. So there's that also. There's always with this stuff, look for the money, which is a terribly sad way to look at government and society. But that's who we are these days.
That's who we are. It's sad. I don't want to get too hurt you. And I want to know what you had to say about that, because that's your community. And I wanted to acknowledge that I was keeping up. I have a transgender daughter, very proud.
I know, Mom.
Bad butt.
She is mom.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh, brilliant. I remember when she came out to us years and years and years ago, before all of these things were accepted. Uh, and I just said, "Are you happy?" And she was like, "Yeah." I'm like, "If you're happy, I'm happy." I don't know who told any other human being that has to shit, slip, eat, and die that they had the right to tell another human being what they should or should not do with their own life. I am very adamant against those kind of things. How
I
dare you tell another
yep.
person who
I
they should be, what they should do with their own life? Who do
I
you
have
think you are?
I have a transgender great nephew, and he went to my niece and her husband when he was about 6 and said, "I'm a boy," and they listened. They talked to him at long, not just a talk, many series of long talks about this with him. His name is Izzy, after great uncle Izzy. So it's his great uncle, great uncle. This is generational. This is my Joel's niece and then son. So this is niece-in-law and nephew-in-law, but we don't niece and nephew.
Yes.
They did all the right things to make sure the child was sure. It wasn't a whim. It wasn't, twitch your nose and it happens. They've been working through this. Yes, I can twitch my nose like Samantha. It's one of my gifts. Worked through this, and here we are. I agree with you. I don't understand why people spend so much of their time and energy worrying about what other folks are doing, except here's why they do it. Because it is so much easier to judge you than to fix them. And as long as they're judging you, they can feel superior. They can feel like they're part of a group of something. And they don't have to look in the mirror. And, I had to learn, and I didn't learn it as a youth. I didn't learn it as a young man. I didn't learn it until middle age. When other people think of me as nobody's blanking business. I always forget if I can curse on this show or not. But
yeah, you can curse whatever you want to say.
All right.
We have an open forum, people. I don't believe in closing people down. I want you here to express yourself. Go ahead. Do you think?
What other people think of me is none of my fucking business. And I don't concern myself with what other people think of me. I concern myself if somebody who I know loves me and I trust says, "Hey, Jeff, maybe you should look at this, or you can try something this way." I'll listen and hear if there's truth in it, but no one gets to judge me. I could have sworn judgment belongs to God and nobody else. And I don't judge anybody else. I only judge people on how they treat me. If they don't treat me well, back up a little bit, and if they really don't treat me well, back up a little bit. And I wish you well, but I wish you well. No, keep backing up. Back. Yeah, all the way there. I wish you well, but you don't get any closer to me than that. That's the only judgment I make about anybody.
How they treat you. That's the way it should be. And I am hopeful that our society, especially here in America, because I've lived in other countries, and I'm telling you guys, it's pretty backwards over here. You can say what you want to say. It's fucking ass backwards compared to some other parts of the country that are older, been around long. It's like we're teenagers. Like, oh, wow. Oh, I discovered I had a pee-pee and a wee-wee. And now everything is about pee-pees and wee-wees. And like, what is going on with education and mental development and spiritual development and not religion, development, inner development inside of the people where you're changing and you're growing and becoming better human beings? That's what I'm trying to relate to. So I wanted to just ask you about that because it was interesting to me. And I know that's your community, and I'd rather get it straight from the horse's mouth than to get it from anybody else.
Well, thank you for calling me a horse. Now I have people out there who are going to wonder. So yay. And you reminded me of one of my favorite dirty jokes. May I tell a dirty joke?
Of course. I want to hear a dirty joke. Is it funny? As long as it's funny.
You tell me. No, no. I'm telling a dirty thing that isn't. Osiris, come now, woman.
Go.
Middle-aged man marries a very young, over 18, but a very young woman. It's their wedding night. She's changed in one room into a negligee. He's changed in another room to a silk robe. They're sitting on the edge of the bed. He says, now, sweetheart, I'm going to teach you about things. And he takes off his robe and she starts to go, oh, that's your wee-wee. And he says, sweetheart, we are married people now. Body parts have words. That's my dick. She says, oh no, I've seen dicks and that's a wee-wee.
You know, that's clever.
That is an old Buddy Hackett joke.
That's a clever joke too, because it does take you a minute, like, okay, to see what she's saying. But you know, you have to find humor in everything. And I think I was talking to someone about this. If we don't talk about these things, they're never going to get worked out and worked through. And a lot of people are very...
Suppression always leads to bad behavior. Always. If you pretend like something isn't there, it doesn't go away. If you pretend like there isn't a problem, this problem does not get solved because you don't acknowledge there's a problem. Mm-hmm. You hurt my feelings. I hurt your feelings. Well, if we don't talk about it, we end up losing a friendship. If we talk about it and work it out like two reasonable adults should be able to. If there's a problem, you identify the problem. Can you fix it? Yes. How do you fix it? You work on that. You identify the problem. Can you fix it? No. You have to accept it. But either way, you've done something for your own physical and mental and emotional health and well-being, perhaps for somebody else's. I'm a big believer in communication is so important. And love is so important. You know, I don't understand people's who their first go-to is hatred, or they walk the planet looking for reasons to be insulted. I don't expect to be insulted. It happens once in a while. People are human. I go out in the world for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, for the most part,
what's the man in them?
People are very nice to me. They appreciate my sparkles. They appreciate my talent. They thank me for making their days better, for brightening up making them happy, because that's what I do as an entertainer, even as a writer and stuff. I make people happy. That's what I'm on the planet for. See, I've never had to why am I here? Why am I here? I'm here to make people happy. I'm here to make the human existence a little bit better if I can.
Better. Thank you for doing so.
Well, it's my pleasure. Look, God gave me all this intellect and talent, and I'm devilishly handsome, and I have style and flair. Yes, I know I'm a nanny.
He's a ham.
But a man can be a nanny. But the point being, I was given all of this. I have to assume it was to use to make other people better. That's been my life's work, is making people happy. And
so that leads me to another question.
I knew it would.
We have classic Hollywood.
Yes.
You know, you and I are a part, you more than me, because you've actually met these people and had energetic exchanges with them. You were mentored by them, etc. Ella Fitzgerald, Lucy, Arnaz, just all kinds of people that have mentored you, and Ethel Merman, just anyone wonderful. I want to know from you, what is going on? Is classic Hollywood going to go away? We've got so many new things now. Apple TV, all the little Amazon, now they're getting into production. I mean, it's like the whole Hollywood has been bought and sold. Almost. That's how it feels to me.
It is a cliche. The only thing, the only thing that changes is that thing. The only thing that stays still is change. Change is always happening. Look, the classic Hollywood, what people think of classic Hollywood, it depends on your age. If we're talking about, the days Judy Garland and Fred Astaire were at MGM, that kind of stuff, that classic Hollywood died in the early 50s, died 70 years ago, that part of show business. Are we talking about the years where you watched the Ed Sullivan Show and Bonanza and Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched? That died 60 years ago.
Mhm.
CBS, NBC, ABC, the original 3 television networks, barely exist anymore. And they're probably going to go away as over-the-air things. They're probably going to change.
Yeah.
When cable TV came in, it changed everything. Then platforms came in. We listened to 78 RPM vinyl records, and then we listened to 45 RPM, and then we listened to 33 RPM, and then we listened to CDs. And now nobody even buys CDs anymore. It's all electronic. Show business keeps changing. It has always been in a state of change. So to hold up, this is how it always was, and now it's different. No, there is no always. In the 20s, radio barely existed. The radio networks didn't start till the late 20s. Television didn't really start till the late 40s. So radio was only big, the major source, for 20 years. Silent films from about 1910 to about 1927. 17 years of silent films. After that, there were talking films. Black and white TV. Color didn't come in on all 3 networks till 1965.
I didn't know 65.
Now we don't even think about black and white anymore. It doesn't exist except in older things. And there was a time when you would not have been a host of a show because you're an African-American woman. And I wouldn't have been a guest on a show wearing sequins and an earring.
Thank you.
It just wouldn't have been. I would not be sitting in my plush office with an Emmy sitting behind me and a commendation from Congress on the wall for my charity work because of who I am, both gay and Jewish.
That's
It
right.
wouldn't have happened.
That's right.
So change is also good.
Mhm.
Hopefully we take with us the best of what came before. And because there are so many platforms, what used to be can still be enjoyed. We haven't thrown all of 20th century art out the window. It's there. You have to look for it maybe a little bit harder. Look, turn on Pluto. I Love Lucy is on 24 hours a day.
A day. That's right.
I can go like this and, she's eating chocolates. Or I can watch Here's Lucy, or I can watch Dick Van Dyke or Andy Griffith or old Ed Sullivan shows or the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour or Sonny and Cher or anything you want. The Golden Girls, more recent things. The Nanny is all over the place now. Bless her heart, Fran Drescher. I'm a big fan of Fran's because Fran is.
I love Fran Drescher. I know who she is. Yeah.
Fran has already written the foreword from my latest Lucille Ball book, which is the Complete Lucy, a superstar career in show business. And Fran has very graciously already written the foreword for that book.
Hi, Fran.
So I'm a big fan of Fran and Peters, and Peter has let me interview him extensively. So I appreciate them a lot.
I'm a huge fan of theirs. The people that I see that if I ever met them, I feel like they'd be kind or they'd be wonderful people because you can kind of read the energy. I can't anyway from over the screen, how they present themselves. No. But she's one of the people that seems very down to earth. And one of the people, if I ever met entertainers, she's one of the people I would want to know.
Besides being so wonderfully talented and incredibly intelligent, her work, both her foundation, Cancer Schmancer, how many thousands, if not millions of people has she helped survive that illness and get through it? And then as the president of our union, SAG-AFTRA, she did wonderful things for us. So Fran, all the way around, just yay, Fran Drescher, yay.
Hi, Fran. That's wonderful. So I want to talk to you about, you were talking about a lot of the things that you're doing now. And I know you've been referred to as a walking or as the walking human encyclopedia for Hollywood and for entertainment. You've met everybody, know some of everybody, know some of everything about everybody. Where do you see entertainment going in general? Because we just established that it's changing all the time. So how do you think, and what do you think it's going to transform into with all the AI and all the kids with the booty rings?
I am concerned about AI. I am concerned that the one thing AI cannot do is have an original thought. It cannot create. It can be told how to copy other stuff. It can scan me and do the Geoffrey Mark show without Geoffrey Mark being there if I say enough things into the microphone that has enough of my words to copy. I know that for years now, and I won't say who this is, it's not the family, but people have been talking, let's bring back I Love Lucy and AI and either make it a cartoon with their voices or live action with their figures, except you don't know how Lucille Ball would handle that line. I don't care how much sampling you do. You don't know what Vivian Vance would choose to tilt her head back saying a line. You can't predict creativity. So I think AI can certainly save some lives with special effects, that people don't have to get hurt to make movies and TV. And I think in some cases, AI could have a good creative use. But this idea that we turn our computers and our phones and our lives over to AI and let them do it for us, no. Very, very dangerous, because we will become idiots. We'll become creativeless idiots who don't know how to write a joke or write a song or write a script or make a face. You can't create. It took me decades to create this. And I don't want AI copying it and using it for purposes of which I might not approve. But to answer your bigger question, I kind of said this already. Show business always moves forward. People really have a need for entertainment. We always have, going all the way back to primitive cavemen and drums, something to keep our minds going creatively and take our minds off our troubles. Where is it going? Probably all digital. They are talking about implants in people's heads where, something can just be sent right to our brains. Don't know how I feel about that, because again, I don't trust persons, and who knows what the persons might do if they implant something in my head. But I think the technology is going to continue to grow, but it's always going to need singers and songwriters and actors and authors and writers and directors and producers, and it's going to need people to design the costumes and people to design the jewelry. And they're not going to hand out, there it is, the statue like the one sitting behind me here, to a computer program. So we're always going to need the talents that I think are God-given, and hopefully we don't get stupid about that. So it remains to be seen.
Well, you are very, very broad in your talent. You are you're a comedian, you're an actor, you're a writer, you're a talk show host, a performer.
Jazz singer.
Not many things that you have not done. And what I want our audience to find out is how did you make it through? I mean, we were talking about years ago, I wouldn't have been able to have a podcast. You wouldn't have been able to be here. So how do I'm an African-American, whatever you want to call me, but I'm still not white. So how do you possibly, somebody could maybe say, oh yeah, I won't act, my culture, who I am, and I'll hide it behind my white skin or behind my whatever. How did you make it through? What did it take you to keep the resilience and the persistence to keep going when things were trying to knock you down, and you can smell it? It's so close. You can smell it. And every time you get close, it's like something gets in the way. Somebody doesn't want to talk to you. You ain't who, so I'm not Oprah Winfrey, or you're not so-and-so, so you can't get through to the phone. Then you're trying to get around the bullshit that you have to go through. I want to know, how do you do? What do you tell people? How do we do it?
Because I have the largest balls you've ever seen in your entire life.
I don't got no balls.
I mean, I wanted you to laugh, but I'm not being funny.
No, I was laughing. I thought you weren't done.
Oh no, that was it. That was the whole sentence.
Oh.
Look, to the people who care about whether someone is white or not, I'm not white. I'm Jewish, that makes me not white. I'm gay, that makes me not white Christian, because you got to put the two together, because the haters, unfortunately, not that there aren't African American haters, not that there aren't Jewish haters, not that there aren't gay haters. Unfortunately, it breaks my heart. They do exist. But I had to make a decision. You know, I come from a generation where my folks and my grandparents and their relatives lived through World War II. And what happened to Jewish people in that time, and gay people, 2 million gay people were imprisoned as well in concentration camps. It was hammered into me. If it's the one good thing my parents did, never forget. So I was never going to deny being Jewish. And, I've been in show business professionally since I'm 15, as an amateur since I'm 4. I never lied to my audiences. I never pretended to be something I wasn't. As a stand-up comedian, I never listen to me. I never told jokes about girlfriends and mothers-in-law and titties, and that wasn't part of my life. I didn't use that for humor. Mm-hmm. I did early on in nightclubs. If I sang love songs, I would use a pronoun her in the beginning. Haven't done that in decades. In my act, I sing The Man I Love. Not because I'm making a statement, but because it's a beautiful song and I sing it really, really well. So I've stood up for myself. I had to learn to do that. It was not natural to me. But as you know, I was thrown out at 15. So it was sink or swim. I had to survive anyway. I met the love of my life so far when I was 13 years old. Oh. Who gets that?
What happened? Can we hear the story?
Oh, sure.
Let me take a station break for our announcer, right quick for our sponsor, and I'll be right back. So Kevin Pike, Coldwell Banker, Senior Real Estate and Probate Specialist. Thank you, Kevin, for believing in us and the Osiris Muneer Show. He is a wonderful real estate agent and probate specialist. He can talk to you about anything, anytime, anywhere. He's a pro. Been in the industry since he was been in the industry. So 818-571-1508. Kevin Pike, reach out to him. Now back to Geoffrey. So Geoffrey, we're going to talk about
me. I was pushed ahead in school 2 years because I was kind of smart. So in those days, elementary school was kindergarten through 6th grade. What we called junior high school, which is now called middle school or intermediate school, was grades 7, 8, and 9. High school was 10, 11, and 12. So I walked into the 10th grade at 13. My first day, the last class of the day, I was enrolled in a musical theater class. Mm. Who gets enrolled in a musical theater? Who's ever heard of one? I never heard of one before. I've never heard of one since. How's that? The guy who was in charge of the class, John Inkes, may he rest in peace, was a gay man in his he looked like Ted Baxter from the Mary Tyler Moore Show, just like him, actually.
A good-looking guy, too, Ted.
Good-looking, a little pompous, very talented. I was the youngest person in the class. Joel Kabik was the oldest person in the class at 17. Mm. And he put us in groups of 2 to work on musical comedy songs. And I could tell a very long story that I won't, but I will just tell you that he sent me across the room to talk to Joel, who was standing in front of the high risers that the chorus stood on, saw me coming, cocked his head like a dog, immediately got on our riser so he'd be taller than I, because he was shorter than I. And 30 seconds later, we were in love for the rest of our lives.
Isn't that wonderful? And some people don't get to have that experience at all. They've never.
It was so soul to soul that I don't remember what we talked about. And I'm leaving some stuff out that's very personal. But I will share with very, very personal, close people. But our friends out there don't need to know the rest of this.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do? I'm 13, he's 17. Then I turned 14, he turned 18. Now he was legal. I was underaged. We were whatever we were. Joel was bisexual. So he was dating girls, but he loved me. And we were soulmates. And who gets that at the age of 13? And who knows what the hell to do with that? We didn't even have the vocabulary. We were doing things for which we did not have the words. Because the only words we heard were faggot, or in Yiddish, fegala, and other.
What is the Yiddish fegala? I've never heard that one.
Fegala is faggot in Yiddish.
Oh, that's what you said. I thought it was the whole thing was the thing. It's Yiddish.
No, the Yiddish word fegala is
sorry.
Yeah. We were like just everywhere we tread was a landmine. Our parents became friends out of self-protection for themselves. That didn't work out well. Joel got beaten because of me. I got thrown out because of him. And yet, we had 47 years together, not under the same roof. He married wealthy women because that was his choice, but we were always a couple. And
really? What did the women do? Did the wives, were they aware that he was in love with you and that it was against the society rules at the time? This is juicy stuff we're talking.
Wife number one, I went to school with as well. I knew her whole family. I still know her whole family. Her sister just died. So the mother of my stepchildren and I have known each other since I'm 13. So we're family. Today I am accepted as part of that family. Mm-hmm. Wife number two, I didn't like and never got close to. And she left him. So I'm assuming she figured stuff out. It was an unorthodox relationship. It wasn't, here, I'll bring this around to the front of the program. It wasn't, Lassie and June Lockhart. It wasn't the Donna Reed show. It wasn't a white picket fence.
It wasn't pretty, yeah.
It was what we could carve out, given that he was bisexual, that he liked women sexually, not so much as persons, but sexually, that society would not accept us. There was no gay marriage. Just being seen in public could get you killed.
Yeah, could get you killed.
So much different set of circumstances. This is a long time ago, folks.
Yeah.
Probably before most of you were born. And you do the best that you can, but I wasn't going to be pushed down. I never, in my career, people have known who I am since I'm about 19. I did a nude musical off Broadway. I think that was, yes.
And you got away with it? Nobody said anything, didn't hit the press or anything?
They laughed.
Shit. I'm surprised that wasn't
Geoffrey Mark did a nude tap dance off Broadway. I replaced someone who was, how shall I put this, blessed between the legs. So when he did the tap dance, dumpa, 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 dumpa. Well, I'm an average kind of guy, naked. So I went for so his was sexy. Mine was funny.
Okay, well.
But yeah, I once you're in, that kind of a thing. I was in a musical called Boy Meets Boy. It's kind of hard to hide after that, which is also a big hit off Broadway. Mm-hmm. I never had to come out of a closet because I never went into one. Now, I am a gay man who enjoys the masculine side of his life. I'm not big into drag queens. Nobody calls me girl. Not that I judge anyone who finds those things attractive or amusing. You know, under the sparkles, you know, I'm Jeff. And I enjoy both sides of me. I enjoyed the masculine, I enjoyed the feminine. I don't apologize for either. I don't apologize for anything. I'm pop. I am who I am. You know, it's all that I am. I'm Geoffrey, the entertaining man. That's who I am. And if someone doesn't like it, adios, muchacho. I wish you well. And remember how far back you have to be before I will engage with you.
Kiss a turtle egg. That's what I always say. Let me ask you something. I like that you're talking, because this is what I wanted you to do. I want you to talk about you and not so much your people that you were mentored by, about you, what your challenges were, what
let me have it, lady. Come on.
Successes, you know, the
let me have it.
Let you know, do things. So when you were doing these things, have you noticed now these kinds of things? What did they do with all of these things that were not allowed then? Where are they now, and where are they showing them? And I've yet to see a channel solely dedicated to the LGBTQIA plus community.
Yes, it's called Here. H-E-R-E.
What's it?
The Here Network, H-E-R-E, is a cable TV completely dedicated to LGBTQ plus. So it does exist.
Okay, good. There are no captions on. They don't shut it. They don't. You're allowed to be fully expressive, right?
Whatever you want. There's no. Look, there are a ton of stand-up comedians now who are out. Like my friend Jim David has been doing it for years. Big comedy star. Jim and I were waiters together in New York City in the 1970s.
Wow.
That's how far back Jim and I go. Another guy who was never in the closet, he did it brilliantly. He would do one-man shows, and he did brilliant humor for the first 20 minutes. And like minute 21, he would just drop. Oh, my husband said about that. And you could hear the audience going, oh, husband. He goes, oh, didn't you know? Brilliant. A brilliant way to win them over first and then reveal himself. And Jim has done spectacularly well with that. Jason Stewart, another. Judy Gold, a lesbian who does it. Mm-hmm. So there's no, I cannot guarantee that in the future it'll be harder to find, because if the world continues to hate people, sooner or later the gay folks are going to get it really hard also. But for the moment, gay culture is available everywhere, anywhere, and one just has to have the balls. I told you I have the biggest balls you've ever seen.
Balls.
Has to have the balls to be true to one's self.
Mm-hmm. And I like that you have those big balls, because it takes big balls to be out there. What about those people? I have there's a talent I know of, and he's super tall, can be very intimidating. But because of his age, and because that he not even so much his age now, but still a little bit because of that. That's what I've experienced trying to pitch him to different things. And because of his background as a songwriter, he's gone from writing songs to screenwriting films and everything. And we're
Osiris, who are you talking about, dear?
No, this is just a talent that I'm working with. It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
This is what I'm working with. And I wanted to know from you, which is why I brought it up, he still can't get through the door. There's still that stigma of, you got to know this person, or it's a catch-22.
Okay.
You don't have an agent.
Osiris, don't blame society for that.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to find out why, and that's why I'm asking you.
Because man and boy, since 1974, I have been in professional show business. It's two words. It's show and it's business. When Ethel Merman sang that song, she wasn't lying. There's no business like show business, like no business I know. She didn't say there's no show like she doesn't know. There's no business like she doesn't know. It's a business. And just like the head of the corporate ladders all over the world and the head of politics all over the world, when there is that much fame, money, side benefits available, it's dog eat dog. And not everybody who has talent is going to make it through. Why me? See, I can't say why not your guy because I don't know him. I don't know enough about him to say why.
Yeah.
It isn't his height. It isn't his color. It isn't his sexuality. All of those things you can push through with them.
Mm-hmm.
But it is who do you know? And it is having the courage to show up, suit up, show your wares unapologetically, and ask for motherfucking help.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I am on fire with ambition and I want to get from there to there. How do I do it?
How do I do it?
And people like Milton Berle and others, Lucille Ball, I only got to interview her once, but she changed my life. Ella Fitzgerald changed my life. And I was just an audience member at first.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a concert at Carnegie Hall with her, and she'd done it all. And she's very famous. She had a live album. She won 2 Grammys for it, where she sang Mac the Knife and forgot the words and got a Grammy for that. And then followed that with a 7-minute scatting of How High the Moon. That's all you have to know about the story. And I am in standing room in the back of Carnegie Hall. She's done her concert. I wait for a lull. And I shout out, please sing Mac the Knife. And she said, you really want to hear that, darling? Okay. And she sang it for me. And she finished, and I waited for that lull. I mean, she's done her whole concert. She's done her encores already. Now sing How High the Moon. And she started to laugh because she knew why I was asking for it. She said, all right, darling, just for you. How would I know that however many years later after that, I'd be choosing her songs for her concerts and be Grammy-nominated for writing album notes for her CDs and write 2 books about it. But it changed my life because I spoke up. I spoke up. I said, here I am. And I was willing to put my talent on the line.
There you go.
None of this, oh, I'm scared. Oh, I'm shy. Oh, you don't, oh, God, I'm not really all that good. Gosh. Well, if that's how you hit it, yeah, you're going to get absolutely nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Likewise, if you think you're all that in a bag of chips, do community.
Everybody else will.
Do community theater. No. If you think you're wonderful, like better than everybody, yeah, do community theater because you won't make it in real show business. There is this fine line between confidence and arrogance. Arrogance is disgusting. Confidence is the sexiest thing on the planet.
And how do you balance the two? Because you got to have a little, before we go, because I need to get your hashtags. So we got a little bit of balance between the two. You got to be a little bit arrogant, but confident. So how do you balance it?
I am only arrogant. It's a very specific set of circumstances. Ask me to perform in your club or your theater. Ask me to be in your play. Ask me to be on your show. And you don't let me be the best I can be. I don't mean you Osiris, but host doesn't know what they're doing, or director doesn't know what they're doing, or nightclub manager or publisher. If they don't know their business, if they're not a pro, watch Geoffrey Mark get arrogant. Because then I have to come in and take over because I'm not going to be substandard because you are. Other than that, I'm confident. I'm confident that I'm funny. I'm confident that I am one of the best jazz singers on the planet. I'm confident that I write really, really good books. I'm confident that I'm a good show host. I'm confident that I'm a good guest. But I'm not arrogant about it. I just know what I can do, and I'm happy to be doing it. I don't get nervous. I get focused. Like today, I wanted to be so good on your show.
And you're doing you are so good. I'm glad we did this because I really wanted to hear about you, not so much about Ethel and Lucy.
No, we've done that already. I've been on your show
I
several
wanted
times.
to hear about you and I've learned so much more about you, and I want to bring you back again. I've learned so much about you today. What I want from you right now, because we were short on time, is I'd like you to give out your social hashtags. That's Facebook, IG, TikTok, whatever you got.
Yeah, I know what they are. All right. So for those of you who are watching, Geoffrey Mark is spelled just like it is on the screen. For those of you who are listening, Geoffrey is spelled GeoffreyMark. That's how you find me on Facebook. Geoffrey Mark Showbiz on Instagram. I think it's at Geoffrey Mark at LinkedIn. On Facebook, there is a GPE page. Geoffrey Mark Plays Ella. So there's a page there for one of my podcasts where every week I play Ella Fitzgerald's music on a theme and then give you insider stories to the making of the music, why it was important, the history, maybe what was happening.
Where do we find these? On your website?
You can find them on YouTube every week. Mm-hmm. And if you just go to my page, you'll see all the different places you can find it. Then I have Still Toking With, my talk show, which I co-host with two wonderful guys, Ben and Jeff. They're in Boston. I'm out here in Palm Springs. We talk live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. And we talk with some of the most fascinating people on the planet. Our guest yesterday was the best bass player from Megadeth. And,
wow. Okay.
And it was his birthday. I sang happy birthday to him. And he said, well, now I know why you were nominated for a Grammy Award.
Yes, sir.
So we do that. I'm still doing a 5-episode special. Geoffrey Mark Plays Merman, where I'm playing the music of Ethel Merman and telling you insider stories. And we've gotten such good response. We're going to follow that one up with Geoffrey Mark Plays Mary Martin. So I've got 3 podcasts. I'm working on 2 books. The Complete Lucy, a superstar career in show business, with a foreword by Fran Dresner. My memoirs are I'm 3 hours away from finishing my memoir, which is called The Devil Was Born in Brooklyn.
And that's on you. That's your memoir.
More than you ever wanted to know about me and the people I've loved and known. And I've started a mystery novel. And I won't tell you more about that because it includes a celebrity. I'm doing something very special, and I hope that when I finish it, people will really appreciate it. And I'm rehearsing literally 80 songs because next year I'm going on a singing tour. And the hook of the singing tour is I'm singing the music of Ella Fitzgerald. I have seven different set lists. The audience gets to choose which set list they want.
Oh, Geoffrey, that's great. This is
so
great.
I'm literally rehearsing 80 songs, every week. All that work gives me gas. And so I'm a busy boy, and happily so.
Are you going to are one of the shows or any of the shows going to be here in LA on the tour schedule? Yes.
Of course they will. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sure for it, at the very least, it'll be Palm Springs, Los Angeles, New York.
San Diego?
What, dear?
San Diego or San Francisco, maybe? No.
We'll see. We'll see. It'll be more of an East Coast thing. New York, Philadelphia, Boston, maybe Charlotte, maybe Chicago and Toronto. We'll see how it grows.
Geoffrey, I adore you. When you meet people and I'm kind of friendly because I'm outgoing and all of that, and people don't know what you want from them. And I'm just like connecting because I feel the energy and I feel the inside and all of that. But when I first met you and Harlan introduced us, I love your energy. I love that you're direct. I love that you're upfront about things and you're not some big talk you around in circles and you get everything direct. I love that. And I love people that speak directly, whether it is harsh or not. I love direct because it's truthful and honest. So I want you to know that.
Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn. We talk straight from the show.
Baby, we love our Brooklyn people. I love Brooklyn. Hey, Brooklyn. So anyway, shout out to Sam Hassan, LA Talk Radio. Thank you for letting me shine every week. I love all of you out there. I love you for being courageous, for standing up what you believe in, for getting your mindset together, for keeping your shit together when things are going bad, for you throwing down anyway. And I like you for being the kind of people that you are, that you like other human beings. You bless them with kindness. You bring fortune and good luck to people, like Geoffrey just shared his insight and his personal experiences with us. And that brings good fortune and good prosperity into our lives.
And from me to you and all of our friends out there, God bless and have a happy.
All right. And we're going to go, you guys. Don't forget that without your support, I would not be here. So without you, there would be no me. I have to have the support. So don't forget to check me out on IG, Osiris_Munir_ the painter, and Osiris Munir. If you can't remember that, just look me up on Google, and we're going to go. And I love you. And don't forget to smile. It works wonders. Thank our guest. Again, Geoffrey Mark. He is a multi-talented Emmy Award winner and a Grammy-nominated comedic performer. And we will love to have him on anytime. All right. See you soon. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye. Kisses.
You're listening to The Osiris Munir Show, only on LA Talk Radio.